Welcome back. We are on lesson 4 of unit number 1. This lesson is on powers and exponents. So a couple of learning targets, actually just one, to be able to write and to simplify exponential expressions. So sometimes when we have repeated multiplication, we don't like writing that out. So mathematicians have developed a shorthand way of writing repeated multiplication to express a product, and we use a power. Okay, a power is an expression that represents repeated multiplication of a factor. So the factor is the base, and the number of times that base is multiplied together is called the exponent. So the combination of the base and the exponent is called a power, and then each of these components has a special name. 3 is the base, and that is the number that is used as a factor. And then 2 is the exponent, tells how many times the base is multiplied by itself. So some other terms that you should be familiar with, some vocabulary. A number that's raised to the second power has a special name. We say that it is squared. And we call it squared because the area of a square is a side times a side, or a side to the second power, where s is the side length. A number raised to the third power is called cubed, and that's because the volume of a cube is s times s times s, or s to the third power. So s is the length of the side again. So anything to the third power we say is cubed because of the volume of a cube. And s to the second power, anything to the second power is squared. And that's where that comes from. So we talked about this in a previous lesson. The question for you is, when is a negative sign part of the base? So if I have 5 to the 4th power, what's the base? Well, the base is 4, or excuse me, the base is 5, and the exponent on all of these is 4. So I had that filled in for you. Expanded form means it's 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Now we had a problem, I think it was identical to this one. What does that negative sign mean in front of that? What is the base in this case? This is probably the trickiest problem. The base is actually positive 5. Okay, the expanded form is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 with a negative in front. What is the base in this example when we have parentheses? Well, that's when we have a negative 5 for the base. To expand that one, it means negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5. So I want to make sure you understand the difference between the second one here and the third one. So when is a negative sign part of the base? Only when the negative is inside the parentheses is it part of the base. Otherwise, it's in the answer. So it's going to be a short video here. Let's go ahead and do a few quick practice problems. It says write the power represented by the geometric model. So in the first example here, this is 3 by 3, so 3 squared. Here we have a cube, and their length of each side is 3, so that would be 3 to the third power. Or I don't know that that's 3, excuse me. I should take that one back. Let's just represent this. Well, it is the length of 3. I'm going to take that back. Let's just keep it as 3 to the third. I was going to say we don't really know the length, but let's just say it's 3 units by 3 units by 3 units. If we want to simplify this expression, this means negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. Okay, since this is odd, my answer will be negative. Okay, it's negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, right? So 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. And you may be able to do that on your calculator as well. If you have a y to the x button, I can show you how to do that on your calculator in class. This one means 2/5 times itself, just one time, times 2/5. So our numerator is 4. What's our denominator? Common mistake is 10. 5 times 5 is actually 25, so be careful there. Negative 10 to the 4th, what does this mean? This means 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, right? With a negative in front. How many zeros are there? There are 4 zeros. So that's how many are in our answer, so 10,000 with a negative in front. Write each number as a power of the given base. Okay, so I want to write the number 64 as a base 2, 2 to some power. Excuse me, 2 to some exponent. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, right? And 4 times 2, I need another one. 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. We're getting there. 32 times 2 is 64. So how many 2's did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that should be 2 to the 6th power is how you would write that as a power. Pretty icky 2 right there. There you go. 2 to the 6th power. How about negative 27 with a base of negative 3? Well, negative 3 times negative 3 would give us a positive 9. And positive 9 times negative 3 gives us a negative 27. So this one would be negative 3 in parentheses to the 3rd power. If you don't have the parentheses, you'll get that marked wrong. So make sure you put your parentheses in there. That is it for this video. Nice and short. See you next time.